Well, I've lived in Pennsylvania for over a year now, and I've put this off until now. Tomorrow is the 249th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. It's time to go. Alright, my first stop is very touristy, but also very relevant. I parked in the underground garage at the Independence Visitor Center and headed upstairs. There was a small cafe and gift shop in here. A mom asked me to take a photo of her and her kid, which I did. People often ask me to do that when I'm out and about. Maybe it's because I'm already taking photos and look like I won't mind and won't run off with their phone, I don't know. After that, I headed outside onto the plaza. This area was really nice, and since it wasn't crowded at the moment, it also felt kind of quiet and peaceful. I crossed Market Street and stopped to walk through the President's House outdoor exhibit. This was the site of the presidential mansion used by the first 2 U.S. presidents during their terms. The displays are meant to highlight the contradiction between the ideals of freedom and equality espoused by the Founding Fathers and the fact that Washington lived here with his slaves. What a handsome family. The house was demolished in 1832. Parts of the original house walls were excavated and are on display here. I kinda missed this when I walked through here, so here's a photo of it from the National Park Service website. I noticed this giant hole with windows around it, but I didn't look down into it or stop to read about what it was. Then I walked through this memorial, which rang kind of hollow considering that this country is currently on a fast track back to 1770. And then, speaking of things that don't ring, I got into this long-ass line to see the Liberty Bell. It looked like a long wait, but it was really only 10 minutes or less, and everyone around me was pretty chill and friendly. I was surprised when I got to the front and saw the level of security here, which was almost airport security level. So after putting my bag through the X-ray machine while I walked through a metal detector and breathed a sigh of relief when it wasn't set off by any of the various pieces of metal stuck through holes in my body, I was finally inside the Liberty Bell exhibit. As stated here, the bell's wide gap was actually a purposeful attempt at repairing a thinner crack. The The bell probably didn't ring on July 4th, 1776 because, as this sign says, by then the heavy bell was threatening to topple the rotting State House steeple. The Liberty Bell became a symbol of freedom adopted by various groups throughout history, including the suffragettes, who traveled around with a replica of it called the Justice Bell from 1915 to 1920. I made my way through the exhibit hall, and then, finally, there it was. This is Independence Hall, formerly Pennsylvania State House, where the Declaration was signed and the Constitution was written, and where the bell originally hung. I meant to stop by there too, but after I left the Liberty Bell, I just forgot. I made my way back to my car and drove to parking garage number 2.
Scan your ticket or tap your card. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thomas Jefferson, philosopher, inventor, president, and keeper of one saucy journal. The Declaration of In My Pants tonight on 6 Ed World.
This area of town was less pristine, and I think it kind of reeked like garbage, and I remembered later that the sanitation workers in Philly had been on strike for days by this point, so maybe that had something to do with the smell. This is the Wagner Free Science Institute, founded in 1855 by William Wagner. Wagner was a scientist who believed in free science education for all and offered free lectures at his home, aided by the collection of natural specimens he spent his life acquiring. To quote the Institute's website, these lectures became so popular that by 1855 he moved them to a public hall on Spring Garden Street to accommodate the rapidly growing audience. He also appointed a faculty to teach 6 evenings a week on subjects ranging from paleontology and chemistry to botany and architecture. All the classes were offered free of charge with an open admission policy that allowed women as well as men to attend. Based on the success of earlier lectures, in 1859 Wagner began construction on a building that would become the permanent home for his collections and his educational program. Designed by Philadelphia architect John MacArthur Jr., who later designed City Hall, the building was completed and opened to the public in 1865. After Wagner's death in 1885, biologist Joseph Leidy was appointed to head the institution. Leidy expanded the museum collection and reorganized the specimens in order of least to most complex organisms. The institute was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1990. Today, it's still free to visit. It has a library and archives and also still offers free educational programs and events, including off-site field trips. I pressed this mysterious-looking doorbell, and someone let me in and gave me a spiel about the place while I signed in. I headed to the restroom first, which, I've seen worse. But there was a bar of soap at the sink, and I did accidentally start to touch it because I think I had a momentary lapse in brain function, but then I came to my senses. Luckily, I always carry hand sanitizer. So I really hate taxidermy. I find it disturbing and stuffed animals really creep me out. Now, I knew what I was in for coming here, but these cases filled with birds were too much for me. I couldn't linger near these, sorry. I checked out the small gift shop before leaving, and then I headed back to my car to face the most terrifying thing of all.